Welcome to the House of Ivana.
She's the queen of the home shopping network.
And I call the fragrance courageously feminine, irresistibly romantic. And this is
Raking in $46,000 a minute, selling her dresses, her jewelry, her perfume, but most of all herself, Ivana.
But what is so sexy on it is this little, Peter Pan color, Peter Pan color, which is so very, proper, but then you say, wow.
But only 5 years ago, Ivana Trump was just another gal whose husband had left her for a younger woman. The tempestuous love triangle of Donald, Ivana, and Marla made headlines around the world. In the end, Marla got the Donald, and Ivana got the divorce. In a new book, Ivana offers advice to other women, sort of how to marry a billionaire and how to divorce one. How do you know if your husband's having an affair?
Well, if the man suddenly goes and starts to exercise and loses 1,000 pounds, and he is polishing his nails, and he has he goes and he buys the new suits and all that, there are usually signs that it is something out of the character of the person. Mm-hmm. And if he didn't do it for you, who is he doing for?
Did you see warning signs?
I really didn't. I really didn't.
In your situation particularly, there was another woman involved. That's very hurtful. How do you deal with that?
There's nothing you can do.
You just
You try to patch up, maybe, differences, because there might be a man which you might be doing something wrong. This is why he runs away. You try to things, but in my case, it was just so clear. And the trust was broken so badly that I knew that it was just no way. Mm-hmm. It could be patched.
What do you think is the hardest part about divorce?
For me, the hardest part of it wasn't the question, am I going to be able to take care of myself, because I knew that I could. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a question of pride per se. It was, for me, it was a failure in something I have done, maybe could avoid. Because it takes two to tango, as you know, and that was the hardest part for me to really accept. That pain, Ivana says, is universal, regardless of your bank account.
It is so hard to sort of gather yourself up again as a woman and go out there. I mean,
It is definitely hard. It's very hard because your confidence as a woman, it's zero.
Gone.
It's zero. So in that instant, it's like a zero. But then it does pass. Again, like I said, wait a minute, I'm young, I'm not ugly, I'm not ill, I have intelligence. There are millions of the men up there which I can have a nice relationship with, I can spend time with, I can have fun with. And if I'm all holding to just the idea of being married to the wrong person, that's a wrong idea. But she didn't just lose her husband. In the same year, Ivana lost the other most important man in her life when her father died suddenly of a heart attack. I was a little bit numb, and maybe that helped me also when my father passed away, because I just said, it just cannot get any worse. It just has to get better.
You say in the book you thought the divorce perhaps contributed to your father's heart condition.
I just know that my father was devastated, and my father was humiliated because his pride and joy in his life. I know that he took it very hard. It's just unfortunate it did happen at a time when I did need him most.
How did you compensate for that, Ivana?
You don't.
As for her ex, Donald's new life now includes Marla, baby Tiffany, and reflections on why it is not a good idea to put your wife to work for you. When I interviewed him last year, Donald said he regretted having had Ivana run his Atlantic City casinos and the Plaza Hotel.
I think that was the single greatest cause of what happened to my marriage with Ivana.
If I look at it now, I think it was a terrible idea.
Ivana would get angry at somebody over the telephone all of a sudden who was at the casino. And she'd start shouting. And I'd say, I don't want my wife shouting at somebody like that.
Well, if you go into work and if you have 4,500 employees and the vice president, you cannot be a little pussycat.
There was a great softness to Ivana, and she still has that softness. But during this period of time, she became an executive, not a wife.
Suddenly the whole romance and whole evening goes, because you know, you're talking business and you're talking what has to be done and repaired and this, rather than being romantic with each other.
If the Trumps agreed about their problems, they certainly disagreed about the money. Ivana had to settle for the paltry $20 million promised her in her prenuptial agreement.
My prenuptial, I did not understand what I was signing. I was younger and I did not speak very well English, and my parents never had one. It did not exist in communistic Czechoslovakia. I really wasn't sure. What I saw that I was signing is to give the rights to the family for their money, that I would not claim the money of the family. Let's say the fathers and grandfathers and all that stuff. That's what I understood I was signing.
Undaunted, Ivana is about to do it again. She recently announced her engagement to Italian businessman Riccardo Mazzucchelli. Are you not still a little nervous? Or are you?
Yes, definitely. I'm scared to death. I'm scared to death, but again, you cannot let the divorce and one disappointment totally affect your life.
Was this, I hesitate to say it, love at first sight. Does that happen the second time around?
You know, 18-year-old kids, they fall desperate in love.
Right.
45-year-old woman doesn't fall desperate in love.
Right.
No, it was affection, and it was a certain energy, and there is a chemistry which is between the people.
Will you ask your husband to sign a prenuptial?
Yes, definitely.
Though she's got the big ring, there's no wedding day set. And there's that ex-husband who just doesn't seem to go away.
Do you really think this is the right thing for us to be doing, Ivana?
What will people think?
Let them talk.
Donald.
Ivana. It's wrong, isn't it?
But it feels so right.
In fact, Ivana and Donald are together again, hawking pizza.
May I have the last slice?
Actually, you're only entitled to half.
Did you and Donald stay friendly? Are you friendly?
We are friendly.
How do you do that?
It is just, this is what you do it for the children, and on the end of the day, there is a certain chemistry between you. This is why you married once.
Yes.
It always stays, in a sense.
Right.
You know, there is not the emotional thing, but there is always, we can go and we can talk for days and days.
Ivana, do you think you're over your divorce?
I'm over my divorce, yes. I'm definitely over my divorce in a way of emotions, definitely. The scars which were left behind because of it, meaning trust, meaning all the things which happen, I don't think I'm over that yet. Like I said, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to trust a single man in my life.